Okay. So, hi everyone. Good evening. This is Deepika Avasthi. It will start now. How is everybody doing? Yes. At any point of time, if you have any questions, please post that in the chat box. If it is relevant, I'll take at that time or I'll take all the questions towards the end. Okay, everyone? So, thank you for joining. And today we are doing a webinar which is webinar plus demo, wherein we are going to talk about how to crack GRE, score a 320 plus, and how exactly we will help you in cracking GRE. So, who are we first of all? Before we start, we are SAS Global, a premier higher education consultancy based mainly out of Florida, USA. Our one of the branches is in Andheri West, Mumbai. We are in this industry for last 14 years. We have 14 years of experience, and our services include guidance, counseling, concierge. Just give me a second. Yeah, concierge, right? Test prep, education loans, scholarship guidance. So basically, end to end, like whatever services you need. If you're thinking of going abroad for your study purposes, we will provide all the services. Right? Our team has expert teachers, mentors from Ivy Leagues, and like everybody is ready to help you 24/7. Right? All you have to do is right, just enroll with us, and then let us know what exactly is your route or path. What are you targeting, and all that. So, right, so let's talk about GRE as that is our main topic. So in GRE, there are mainly three sections that is AWA, analytical writing, right, in which you'll get two tasks, issue and argument, which is essay writing, right, 30 minutes each. The total time is 1 hour. You get 1 hour for this. Then verbal reasoning, wherein you again have two sections of 20 questions each, 30 minutes, and quantitative 20 questions each for 35 minutes. Right, everyone? So this is an overall view. Your total score of GRA is 340, right? 170 to 170 each, right? A lot of you are engineers, so that's why we thought, why don't we focus more on verbal as majority of the people struggle there, and that's why today's webinar will be slightly tilted towards verbal rather than maths, right? But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, right? Anything related to GRE. Right, so the entire exam will be for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, including the essay. We see the maths topics. In arithmetic, you have to prepare integers, the rates of work, absolute values, data analysis will be PNC, permutation, combination, averages, probability, data interpretation, right? Then geometry and algebra, again, important topics like coordinate geometry or triangles, circles, etc. And if we talk about verbal reasoning section, as I've just told you, that 20 questions, right? That 20 questions. But what those 20 questions entail, right? In those 20 questions, you will have text completion, which is nothing but vocabulary, right? Which is nothing but vocabulary based questions. So 50% of your verbal reasoning GRE is 50% is vocabulary, right? 50% is vocabulary, and rest 50% is reading comprehension. So if we talk about vocabulary text completion, it's nothing but fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks, wherein you get 1 to 5 sentences, 1 to 3 blanks, and then you have to choose one answer choice for everything. The skills needed are nothing but vocabulary for sentence equivalence and text completion. The only difference between both is that here you will have 6 options, whereas here you will have maybe like maximum 3 options at max, 1 to 3 blanks with 3 options answer choices at max. And here you will have to choose 2 answer choices instead of one. Here only one answer choice for like one answer choice for one blank. That's the difference. And then the third part is reading comprehension, which is again is 50, almost very important. There will be 50% questions on reading comprehension. You'll have 1 to 4 passages, depends long passage, short passage. If the long passage is mainly just 2 or 3. If it is short, then maybe 1 to 4, right? So that way you will have, and all the questions will be from the passage. The only difference from regular reading comprehension and I would say GRE reading comprehension is that the passages are slightly different and difficult. It's not something we read daily, regularly. But then the rule of basic reading comprehension is same. The answer comes from the passage only, right? So that. Okay. Now we are going to take up a topic that is GRE vocabulary. Like how do you build your GRE vocabulary? So we have devised a lot of methods here to build the GRE vocabulary, for example, to understand by context. So if you see, I'm showing you an excerpt from Ayn Rand Fountainhead, a very famous book. And that book, if you must have read, has a lot of difficult high frequency words. So how do you figure out, right? So first was contextual meaning. So let's just do it. How do we figure out contextual meaning? So if I say here, stubbornly refuse to die. So for example, let's just assume we do not know the meaning of stubbornly. We do not know the meaning of stubbornly, but we know someone is refusing to die. That means has to be a negative word, right? The context is negative. For example, here refused, his pale watering eyes staring obstinately at nothing, right? Again, obstinately means again something continuous maybe or something, but actually this also means stubborn. So how do you figure out at least a general idea you get by just reading, right? By just reading. So we have this kind of strategy to help you out with. Right. And for example, I'll just ask everyone, can anyone tell me what's the meaning of diffident here? If you read the sentence, tell me in the comment box. Diffident. Yes, anyone? The meaning of diffident? I'm waiting for the answers in the chat box. Vijay has answered. Not inclined to talk. All right. So diffident we can remember as, I would say, someone who is very shy, right? For example, other people, except one or two people, it seems like everybody is diffident, right? A little shy, right? Means, yeah, maybe refusing to talk, does not talk a lot or that. So I think now people are moving from diffident to confident as more and more people are answering. So I guess not now, right? So I'll take back my words. All right. All right. So basically, you've got an idea that first method is basically to understand the words by reading and then figure out the meaning by just the sentence, the context of the sentence is positive, negative, that, right? The second way, the second way of understanding or remembering the word is by roots or etymology. There are so many words in the dictionary, but there are very few roots. All the majority of the words are made from certain roots, right? So how do we learn words through roots? Let's see an example. For example, Ben. Can anyone tell me what's the meaning of Ben? What comes to your mind when you see this word Ben? Anyone? Right? It means something good, right? Something good. Right? So, right. So let's say benevolent. Can you think of any other word instead of apart from benevolent from Ben? Anyone? Benign, benefactor, benediction, bona fide. Right? All these words, basically what we know for sure is are positive words, right? Are good words, right? Now let's just discuss the meaning of all these words. So for example, benevolent, right? So bene is good, volent is volo means wish. So benevolent person will be anyone. Benevolent person will be a well wisher. Very good. Yes, someone has answered. I'll just check who is it. J. Again, J is answering more. What about others? Benign. Yes, benign is a kind person, a nice, polite, kind person. Benefactor is anyone? A charitable person, right? Factor comes from factory, someone who gives. Benediction, right? Benediction, diction means to speak. So good speech means blessing, isn't it? Means blessing. Bona fide, fide is faith. So is this clear to everyone? Because I'm going to ask you a few questions based on this, right? So if benevolent means well-wisher, and if I give you another word that is malevolent, maybe some of you might not have heard the word, but I guess you can guess the meaning now, isn't it? The word malevolent, mal is bad. So malevolent will be anyone in the comments? Yes, kind? No, if benevolent is a well-wisher, kind person, right? So mal is bad. Someone who wishes bad for others, exactly. Evil or bad for others, right? evil person, right? Who will wish bad for others? Benign is kind. So then malign will be, what is malign? Opposite. Tell me. Again, not kind, harmful person, right? Something opposite. Okay. Benefactor is charitable, someone who gives good. So what will be malefactor? Malefactor, cruel, villain. Very good. Benediction. Diction is to speak. So benediction, right? So I would. So what word should I make now? You tell me. Now you create the word and then tell me the meaning also. So what do you think opposite of benediction will be? I'm writing all the opposites so far. So yeah, it will be malediction, right? Malediction means opposite of blessing will be curse, isn't it? And bona fide, there's no opposite of bona fide. It's a certificate normally, we use for admission purposes and for the legal purposes. That. All right. Right. So everyone, all the questions I'll take towards the end, but if there's anything specific to what we are talking about, if it's irrelevant, I'll take that at that time. Okay. All right. Right now, let's solve one sentence equivalence question because we are just solving one type each just to give you a good idea how is GRE and how exactly things to be taken or questions to be approached. So I'll give you some time to read this question as well as options. You can tell me your answers in the comment box. Like I'll just wait for a minute and after that we'll start right discussing the question. Okay. Jay has again answered. I think Jay is surely coming on board with us, right, Jay? To help us. You seem to be right, like with our frequency, going with our frequency. Hmm. Yes, everyone, what's the answer here? Okay, we need two options. Okay, everyone. So in sentence equivalence, we always choose two options. Okay, two options for one blank. So choose two options which mean the same, right? Which mean the same, synonyms, right? Synonyms. So what do you think? Aniket, you're correct with one option. What's another? Yes, all right. I think we should do it together now. Good enough time, right? We have taken. So, yes. All right. Hot milk has long been a standard cure for insomnia because of its right. So, if it is a something is a cure for insomnia, always you'll always get a hint in the question itself. So, if something is a cure for because it's what kind of effect? Right, sleep inducing effect, isn't it? Sleep inducing effect, right? Effect is already written. So that. So which word means sleep inducing? So soporific and somnolent both means something which induces sleep, right? Something which makes you sleepy. Sometimes it can be a book as well, right? Hmm. And yeah, what is desultory? Anyone? Desultory, amorphous. Desultory is anything which is casual, lacks plan, right? Something which lacks plan, right? Amorphous, like amorphous rocks, you must have studied in during school days. Right? Amorphous rocks, shapeless, something which doesn't have shapes. Sometimes we say this book which is written is amorphous, means this book doesn't it is not well packed. It doesn't have any shape. Yes, powder liking geography, I would say, right? Ryan, right? Plaintive. What is plaintive? Sad, right? Very sad, mournful, right? And can someone tell me what's the difference between plaintive and plaintive? This just came to my mind, so I just thought I should ask you. Plaintive and plaintive. Yes. So plaintive is sad, whereas plaintive is someone who initiates the case in court. Like if somebody says, I'll sue you, so that person is plaintive. Like who first of all started the case, right? That first person. Malevolent, yes, we have just learned what is malevolent. Everyone, I think everybody should be able to answer now, right? Someone who wishes bad, right? Someone who wishes bad for others, right? Bad for. others is, right, is malevolent. Any questions so far? Anyone? All right, let's take a look at another question or another strategy. Like we are doing how to build up the vocabulary, how to learn words related questions. So next question you also get in GRE is text completion question, right? In text completion, you'll get two or three blanks in a sentence, and you'll have three options each. You have to choose one option for each blank, like simple fill in the blanks, right? Simple fill in the blanks. So I want you to read this option and then let me know your answers in the comment box for this question. Yes. Okay. The members of the parliamentary committee had such strong views, so we do not know what kind of views, that even after several meetings they could not reach a agreement, right? An agreement, right? Something like that. I mean, they could not come to any decision, right? Because they had such different views for that matter, something like that, isn't it? They had different views, right? So I think the second one is pretty clear to everyone, that consensus means that everybody agrees, that common agreement, right? Agreement of a group. Whereas here they what kind of opinion they had, like different opinion, right? So divergent, like everybody, divergent means in different directions, so everyone's views were in different directions, and that's why they could not reach one common, I would say, right, one, they could not reach one common decision. Can anyone tell me what's the meaning of conundrum? Confusion, right? Resolution, which we think we took on 1st January and we don't even remember it today, right? Till we saw the word. So that is resolution. Eclectic, eclectic is assorted, right? Assorted, something which has variety, like assorted sweets, different variety, or something which has variety is eclectic. Right? Radical is strong. Of course, they may have, but even with strong radical views, people can come to consensus. It's just that everybody had different views. And that's why we'll choose B and not A. Right, everyone? That's the reason. Clear? Okay, all right. Let's move to next question. Right now, I want you to read the passage, like just skim through the passage for a minute. And now in GRE, you will get short passages as well. For example, short as these passages. And for majority of the questions, you don't have to like know everything in the passage. You have to know, basically, you all have to do is understand the question, solve it. For example, if you just look at this question, this particular passage is new for all of us. But when you read this line, categories line 4 and 5, right? Max categories, most probably in order to. So where do you see max categories? Here, like 4. So just read this particular line around it, just this much. You don't have to know everything, and then you can tell me the answer. That's it, right? So read everything and tell me the answer. I'll just wait for 1 minute, okay? Right. So when we read, we are saying there's this poet who has written two poems, Odyssey and Iliad, right? Odyssey and Iliad. And they're saying because it includes more features of mythology that are accessible to readers, something, something, this Odyssey is much more famous or popular. Now we are saying Odyssey. It refers to Odyssey. Odyssey's subject is life as spectacle, whereas uh, tragic Iliad has the sub theme is life as experience. So this is what these are max categories. That how do you categorize a poem in which theme, in which area? So Odyssey goes for life as spectacle, whereas Iliad goes for life as experience, right? So to differentiate them into different categories. Right? Category is there for what? Category is there for differentiation. So let me know the answer now of this question. Everyone in the comment box. I just want to check. Yeah. So, right. So suggest one way. Option C, if you read, categorization happens to distinguish something, right? Suggest one way in which these two poems can be distinguished into two different things: life as spectacle, life as experience, right? And this is your location, max categories, right? Any other option you think could be the answer? Please let me know in the comment box. All right. I think there's no question in the comments. Okay. I think there is something. All right. Okay. So someone answered me within 1 second of this slide. Good. Others, but others, I'll give you 1 minute and then we'll answer. So now passage is primarily concerned with. So now this question, if you see, primarily concerned with the passage. You need to read everything and then figure out the answer. But how do you do that? Do you have time in exam to read everything? Not really, right? So every question has shortcut. Like previous question, we read 2 lines, we found out the location, we got the answer in 1 minute. Similarly here, when you get primary purpose, primarily concerned or something, you just need to see overall, just need to get an overall idea and read quickly. Yes. So let's see what is this. So see, we are saying, I just want to highlight few words here and then so we are saying Odyssey is more popular. More popular. I'll just highlight few things and you tell me then what's the answer. More popular than this. Then we are saying the categories are different. Life as spectacle, life as experience, right? Then we are saying, for example, towards the end, right? That Iliad is less satisfying, so less, more, less, right? All these categorization and everything. Then, right? Iliad, then poem raises historical questions. This poem raises that are absent from the other poem. So, aren't we comparing? Isn't it comparative thing? Aren't we comparing two poems, Odyssey and Iliad, and we are saying this has this doesn't have this. This one has this doesn't have the same thing. So somewhere we are basically comparing two poems, right? In a way. So, what do you think now, everyone? What will be the answer? Right? One person author is showing you the difference between two poems, right? Just by looking at these words, comparative words, right? It's all comparison, comparison, comparison. So you just have to focus on those kind of words and not really understand each and everything in the passage, right? For so answer is yes, E. Right? Answer is E. Develop a contrast between, like contrast means this is better, difference between two, not resolve a dispute is what, an argument or fight between two people. There are no two people, there are two poems, right? And we are comparing one person, author is comparing them, so there's no dispute, there's no debate. Again, debate needs two people, right? An argument also needs two people. There's no classification except this particular category, this particular line, life as experience. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, understood. Okay. All right. Now let's move to next question and take a look of what else. Okay, before we do this, let's just come back to other strategies we were just doing. That is methods to build GR, right? GRE vocabulary. So we have seen few examples of the methods here. That contextual meaning, as in you read the passage, if you read regularly, automatically your vocabulary will be improved, or else you can learn the words through roots. So we'll basically give you classes through roots as well, or mnemonics. What is mnemonics? Anyone? What is mnemonics? It association. Associate a word with something, with some person, with some situation or something. For example, if I have to give you an example, if I ask you a word, what is the meaning of the word kindle? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of the word kindle? Right? It means to light, right? To light or to enlighten something. For example, right now I'm kindling everyone's mind, isn't it? Ignite, yes, correct. Or to ignite. So, okay, those who know the meaning know, those who do not know the meaning will, okay, know now and then might forget. So, how do we make sure? Yes, then Amazon, correct. Amazon Kindle, we get it, right? That is a thing. See, now understand one more thing, right? So, if first of all, sticking to the word, if I give you an example now, and uh, if I say, Kindle the candle, right? Kindle means to light the candle. So now there are good chances you will remember the word, right? So we'll teach you words with the help of roots, mnemonics, and further these few techniques, and that's how, so that you remember the word for the longest time. Okay, that. Now somebody is saying Amazon. See, same. If you say Amazon, if I say what is the meaning of Paragon, what will you say? Slippers, right? Because Paragon actually means excellent, right? Or the symbol of excellence, symbol of excellence, right? So the Kindle means, so several brands can take up any, like, word. Yes, exemplary, exactly. So any word like Paragon, Kindle, but what's the meaning of that, right? So yeah, that. So now fourth way of building your vocabulary or remembering word is connotation. Maybe you can remember words, right, by word groups, of like all positive words today. Like I'll do 10 words today, all positive. Tomorrow I'll do all negative words. After that I'll do all neutral words, something like that. Or maybe word groups, like that, okay, these five words mean the same. So I'll be doing this. For example, someone who is very miser, right? Miserly. So then instead of doing 10 words with 10 different meanings, you can just learn five words with someone with synonym. For example, miserly, penny pincher, right? Penny pincher, or niggardly, right? Niggardly, or mm, anything else comes to your mind? Parsimonious, right? Parsimonious, right? Stingy, stingy, right? No, so there she's saying frugal. Frugal, there she's slightly different. Frugal or thrifty is someone who is wise with money. Wise. It's not that person is very, like, miserly, but rather person is wise with money, isn't it? So that's slightly different. These are the synonyms, I would say, for miserly. So when you're doing some words, but you can just remember it, okay, it is related, but not exactly the same meaning. So when you're doing words, make sure like you do similar meaning word or similar type of words rather than remembering 10 different meaning words, because chances are if you don't revise, you will forget, right? So that's how you build up or remember the words, right? By basically connotation. All right. Okay. Yes. So which word, Rushil, for miserly? You're saying repeat? Yes. So, right, for miserly, I'll just do a control Z quickly so that I think it will take time. So I'll rather just write it again, the synonyms of this. Right. So miserly, right? Yeah. Niggardly, niggardly. Yes. Hoarder can be opposite, right? Right. Niggardly. Yes. Parsimonious, right? Penny pincher, stingy, right, etc. Right? Frugal and thrifty. Frugal and thrifty is people who are wise with money. They are not as such. We can call them like miser or stingy. That. Now word groups is again either learn all the synonyms. A word can have 4 to 5 synonyms. So learn all those, like let's say pick up 3 words and it will have 3 to 4 synonyms. So learn 10 words in a day. That way, rather than learning 10 different meaning words. And sometimes words do have secondary meanings. We need not forget a word can have secondary meaning. For example, slight, right? So slight. So if I say I want slightly spicy food, right? Slight, that means a little, but it also means insult, right? Negative insult, right? Or for example, ground. So ground first of all means where we play football, all the games at ground. But it also means reason, like on what grounds did you complain? On what grounds did you do this? Right? That was a word sometimes can have very different meaning than what we thought or when we like how they appear. Right? Okay. Any question? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. So context, it root, right? Sentence equivalence, text completion, and reading. So we have got an idea of like what kind of questions do we get, and we have kept it on verbal and English side more, so that because majority of the students are engineers, like one, so majority of you are engineers, you will need to see, you want to see much more towards verbal side than maths. Like as we have observed in last few years that students right from engineering are still comfortable in maths. Doesn't mean that we'll not give you a demo on maths. You can always attend our ongoing batches, right, or ask for a separate demo. Just let us know, right, whenever you're free, or whenever collectively you guys want within this week or next week. So now, why should you choose us? There's so many people who are giving you GRE, right, on those preparations, right? Why? So first of all, when we say we give quality because of content, like because of a content, the kind of e-books as well as hard copy we have, the questions in the portal, online test series, everything are latest according to latest pattern. 50% Rishi. The weightage of vocabulary is 50%. All right. Reading comprehension 50% vocabulary. So there's no way we can escape vocabulary, and if we want to really like yes, yes, I will just give me a second, Rishi. All right. So yeah, so SAS Global is a US based company. Like we started with US in Florida, and we have this test prep expertise, test prep as well as admission counseling, which we bring to the table to help everyone whoever is dreaming to go abroad for study purposes. All our courses are very comprehensive. We don't believe in a lot of hard work and stretching the studies for like 6 months or something. We know exactly how much time a student needs, and we try to make it customized and try to finish it, like in the right time. I would not say as soon as possible or as long as possible, but in the right time. Sometimes it can be 3 to 4 months or 5 to 6 months. All depends on how much time you have and how much time will you take in few things, right? So those two things. Right? And of course everyone here like in our team is extremely experienced, like at least 8 to 9 years of experience, right, from Ivy Leagues, good colleges. All the mentors, they themselves have studied from those colleges, and you will get the consultation from those kind of mentors, right? And we take care of you not just till your departure but even after departure, because we have our signature concierge services where we take care of you when you're studying in the college, to connect you with your peers, with your with your classmates, or like to help you find accommodation if there's any medical emergency, to many other emergencies which may not be really like no people may not take care of it, just because if you're facing some, let's say, racism, or you're facing some discrimination, will help you even there. Like, so basically throughout your college till you get with your employment opportunities, like to maybe give you information about the employment fairs so that you can network with those companies. All those information as much as possible will be given to you. So yeah. Right. Aditya is saying, which year of engineering would you recommend? So see, Aditya, the question can be a little, the answer can be a little tricky, because first of all, the validity of your score, if I talk about, uh, goes for is valid. The course is sorry, the score is valid for 5 years, right? But it is difficult to cope up towards the end because you have projects as well. It is difficult to cope up with GRE preparation. Then, of course, if you're going for GRE, you have to do IELTS as well, and then like your college projects, everything. So try to start as soon as possible. And if it is late, I feel summer vacations are quite near, like in May or something. At least schedule will be slightly light for everyone. So you can start now, like March, April. So in May you can just ultimately prepare for yourself after attending the classes, attend mock test series, and then you know exactly when to do, right? So those who are preparing, thinking of going in next 2 years, need to start, I would say, next 1 month or so for sure. Right now, someone was asking like, what's the division like of questions? Yes, authorizing research paper does play a big part for sure in your admission process. Right, yes. I'm answering each and every question. Just give me a second, right? First of all, somebody just asked me that what's the dividing, like how the questions are being divided. So, for example, I'll just tell you like how the person asked me how verbal and reading comprehension is divided. What's the weightage? So, in verbal section, if we talk about, you will have two sections, 20 questions each, right? For 30 minutes, you'll get 30, so total 1 hour. Now, out of these 20 questions, 10 questions are vocabulary based, in which you will have text completion. One question we just did where it was two blanks, that text completion, plus sentence equivalence, where you have to choose two options for one blank that. And other 10 questions are reading comprehension, where you'll get two to three passages with some three to four questions each, right? Mixed with some reasoning questions, but part of reading comprehension. So 10 questions are reading comprehension, 10 questions are vocabulary based questions. In different form, they will ask you, like, text completion, three blank, two blank, one blank with six options, different ways. All right. That similarly in mathematics, you'll have 20 questions. Majority of the questions will be problem solving, data sufficiency based, and that. All right. Topics as I just told you. Just give me a second. Topics I just told you. Like in verbal, you're like you have to read regularly. We'll also give you some sources from where exactly can you read, so that those who love to read will read, and those who do not like to read will also develop some interest, right, in reading. And then learn words. So if we talk about maths, these are topics you need to be very good at, right? If your target is 340 and 340, and we do have such kind of scores, but I would say it takes everything, some strategies as well as hard work and practice, right? I'll just take up another question. Of course, Amaya, that's why we are here for. That's why we take GREs for scholarship, right? There is a way to get scholarship, but your score has to be decent or good enough, like at least a 320 or above. Then only we should expect a score. Secondly, you have to apply well before time. For example, let's go backwards. For example, if you have some work tomorrow at 7 a.m., so then you will think, okay, I'll wake up at 6 a.m., right? Then I have to. That means I have to sleep at 10 a.m. today, whatever. Similarly, if you're thinking of going in next 2 years, let's say 2022 for example, 23, you should apply by this September or October. That is first cycle, which is best for scholarships. Of course, having said that, I'll assume that you must have taken your GRE and got a very good score. Not at all, Dash. If you are looking for scholarship as well as good college, like ranking wise, good college, GRE is important. If you just want to, dream of any developed country, okay, I'll study in America, then of course you can go without any exam also. And, like all colleges are ready to take up your fees and then give you admission. Well, they are fine. They'll be very happy. But you really want a good ranking college with scholarship and then good return on investment, good recruitment, employment after that, then of course you should take this exam and then do that. There's definitely a purpose to this exam. Why would no so many people will take it? So this is important for like in from admission in terms of admission, good college as well as right, as well as for scholarship. Now our batch size is normally five students, right? Five students what we keep, right, so that everybody should get equal attention. And apart from batches, for example, if it will be 2 days, weekdays will be 4 days a week, and weekend is 2 days a week. In the rest of the days, we'll schedule a doubt solving. So that's how it is, right? Okay. Since everybody's already started asking the questions, I think I should rather uh, right, show you this slide, right? Yes. So for fee structure, see, fee is something we do not tell like openly. I would say that is something we will let you know. Like a counselor will call you, or you can call the counselor. Right. But before we talk about that, we have a referral program as well. If you, for example, referring to your friend, you will get one Amazon Pay gift card or voucher. We start it from rupees 1,000, at least from rupees 1,000, and then depending on what kind of package your friend is taking from us or buying from us, maybe just test prep or test prep plus admissions. All your friend has to do is when they're coming for admission, they have to let us know that it is basically you have referred that person, and that's all, right? Either you can come to office or we'll send it to your address. Yeah, so that. Also, if you're enrolling by 28th February, that is this month only, you will be getting a 10% discount. And this particular batch, 7th March, we are starting 5 to 8 p.m. a weekend batch. Apart from this, we have other batches also in weekday as well as weekends, morning, afternoon, evening. You can let us know your convenient time, and then we'll start a batch for you, right? So, like, we can start from next week as well. So, all right. Okay. Aditya will let us know, right? As I said, we will let you know. We'll give you a call, Aditya, right? And we'll let you know all the fee details, right? Because we have some discount also going on. So, right, it can be a little like above and below, like than what I say. Ideal time preparation is 3 months, everyone. Ideal time preparation is 3 months. Right? 3 months is good enough for us to reach the desired score. Right? All of you either can contact us here or you will get a call from us. Right? This is our Instagram page. You can follow us. Right? This is our website. This is his website www.sasglobaleducation.com, and here you can email us. I guess everybody will prefer to call us rather than email us. So yes, we are good to go there. We'll definitely contact you or you contact us. Okay, questions, everyone? Mm, okay, I'm just looking at the questions just in case, if I have not missed out anything. All right. So I'm not getting any questions, so I think we are good to go. Yes. So thank you everyone for attending the webinar. You can contact us. You can contact us as I showed you the phone number, email ID. This is our email ID. You can follow us on Instagram and let us know your queries. We also do career counseling. So just in case you're not sure, like which program should I go for, whether I should take GRE or not, or maybe something else. Do I need GRE or not? We always give you unbiased counseling. Of course, this is mainly for GRE people who want to thinking of taking GRE. But if you're not sure, also we'll give you career counseling and tell you what's the right option for you. So apart from your GRE score, university will check your college marks as well, your SOP, LOR, how did you fill your application. So it is a long process. GRE is one step to it, of course. Marathi skills are not important, like for GRE, Aditya. Right? Which is the most preferred country? It all depends because of this COVID. Of course, because of restrictions and all, people were like not choosing USA, but otherwise, USA is one of the most preferred countries. Apart from USA, then UK, Canada is also preferred. Yeah. I would suggest personally you should go for the college rather than the country. If the college has good ranking, it gives you the program you want, and you think the ROI is also good. You have good chances of scholarship, and you think after that your career, it will help you in your career, you should choose that college. Country is fine, like of course in top 3 4 countries you should choose one college, but choose the college by ranking rather than country. Yes, I did mention. So when you join us, we will give you everything, like what are the sources from where you can read and everything. Yes, if right now you want something, I can give you and can let you know one source like from where you can develop your reading, or it is like basically a very interesting resource. That is Spark Notes, right? Spark Notes is some it's just for people who love to read or people who do not like to read because they find it boring, right? So basically, it is one website where everybody finds interesting passages, interesting readable material. That, but if you talk about the what kind of GRE books and everything, that is our in-house material and books for GRE. We have made it through according to updated pattern, and that is something you can come to office any day, talk, chat with us, look at what all we have. So I think that our office will give you a better idea on that. So Ryan, you're asking a very, ironical question. You're saying, is there any other book to cultivate the skills of reading apart from reading? If any other book also, I suggest you still have to read it, isn't it? So how do you improve your reading? Uh, yeah, but one thing, since something is coming to my mind, I am full of ideas. Always remember that listening is interrelated with speaking. When you listen good, you speak well, and when you read well, you can write well. So that okay. It's okay. It's okay. We understand. Yeah. Right now, we are mainly online, and we have one main branch like in Florida and Mumbai. We have Andheri West. We have one branch in Kenya as well. We have just opened up in Canada. So we are more like global rather than like spreading in India. In India, it's like I would say slightly slow. We have just started, but we have already been like in the market for last a lot, 14 or 15 years in globally. Yeah. So You can meet us in Andheri West near Crystal Mall, right? Infinity Mall, right? Link Road there. Okay, any other question? Okay, all right. So thank you everyone for attending the session. If at all you think you still have some questions, something comes to your mind, please give us a call and we'll be happy to help you. All right. Good evening, everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you.